Chair. Two quick questions. Number one, there are new sub-counties that have been operationalized recently. Have you considered in your budget maybe posting of the new officers, considering them for new recruitment centers? Because very soon I think we expect police to recruit police officers.
Okay.
What happens?
Just correction, point of information, Waitan. With a lot of respect, what are you referring by sub-county creations in this, in respect to the NPS?
No, new sub-counties have been operationalized.
But what is that?
And the NPS, they post officers, they make it a new recruitment centers.
Or in the recruitment of, upcoming recruitment of police?
Yes, I'm saying yes. And you know, they post officers, DCI, OCBD, OCS, all of them. In fact, I think you understand.
I want to help us
That
here.
is number one, because it all needs budgets.
Wait, just listen, I want to help us here. I'm sorry.
Chair, please let members ask questions. You're interfering with members' thoughts. Thank you.
I'm the chair. Listen, you know.
You're the chair, but we are members. Just give members opportunity to ask questions.
Wait, will you please keep your order? So what I'm saying on the issue of recruitment, because we know we're handling the budget, we had already planned to have a meeting next week on Thursday to plan on the recruitment. So on the issue of recruitment, where they will be doing it, whether it's digital or not, we'll address that day.
No, that one is okay. Yes. But
yeah.
What I'm asking is the budget issue. We are here for budget right now. Yeah. What I'm asking is that, you know, because the recruitment is coming, first you have to make that place a recruitment center. You know, it might come and it has not been put to the system. That's what I'm asking. Number two, that question, I think you got it. Number two is the issue of NBR. This issue of NBR is causing a lot of problems. I know they're doing a great job. Unfortunately, some of them are now engaging into criminal activities because they have no proper management. Most of them are headed by illiterate individuals. I don't know whether you have really followed this issue. Illiterate person directly from the bush or nomadic kind of life lead a team of, a professional body like this NBR. Do you really follow them so that they don't engage themselves into criminal activities? Because what has been happening of late is that this, especially in our area and most of the pastoralist areas, these individuals come from clans, and there are different clans in every area. Situations where they are coming from maybe specific clans, and sometimes there are conflicts between the clans. They are engaged. They are there. What do you do, and how do you manage them? Are you able to maybe get professional policemen head these NBRs instead of individuals from those local clans? Like now you have, in the headquarters, I know you have a police officer heading. But unfortunately in the counties, sub-counties, they're headed by individuals from those clans. It is really causing a lot of problems. What are your plans?
Good, you made me your point. Balosi Sige?
Chair, I think, first of all, I want to support Honorable Waitan on the issue of NPR. I think the whole issue of policy making on how to approach NPR. And we must acknowledge, Chair, that NPR is playing a key role, and it will even play better roles in the future. So we need to look at the issue of training, issue of management, as Mr. Waitana said. Number two, Chair, I wanted to ask the issue of pending bills. It's a serious issue on IG. And I don't know whether you have really addressed the issue of pending bills. Look at the figures I've seen here, the reduction. And you see, there's a statement which says pending bills form a first charge in the budgeting process. Now, if you look at the figures there, you realize that the only sector which has reduced significantly the pending bill is the GSU. The Kenya Police, National Police Service Headquarters, the reduction of the pending bills is negligible. Negligible. And we want to ask, are we really serious in trying to address the issue of pending bills? And if we are talking about fast charge of these pending bills, I don't think we are serious. So I want you to tell us why there's that reduction. National Police Service Headquarters, Kenya Police, is negligible. When we can see GSU have tried to reduce. Secondly, Chair, is the issue of forensic lab. Chair, I have been here for only 3 years, 3 years now running. We have been discussing the issue of forensic lab. One, we know it can generate a lot of money, and it appears we as government are not serious in investing on this forensic lab, and yet it's a very critical area in terms of crime management. And we would like to assist the DCI and assist the country. First of all, to have cases finalized quickly, and secondly, to have government also get A&A in the process. So I think we have to be serious and say, well, how can we fund this critical area? And the DCI is making a lot of noise here. It's okay, Balosi. So we would like to see some change in terms of financing this sector.
Sawa, you have made your point very well, Commander.
Thank you,
then
Chair.
Then you respond to the four.
Chair, my first point, Honorable Sige has just talked about the forensic, and I want to forensic lab. I want to commend the National Police and the DCI in particular for the quick investigation on Honorable Ongondowere's case in being able to apprehend the murderers. But in respect to page 19 on the development estimates, Chair, it's unfortunate that 125, which was earmarked for equipping the forensic lab, particularly providing what is required for that lab to operate, is been reduced. Chair, I think this committee may need to really look at it. In respect to the lab, it is key that it is operational, because apprehending some of these high-level criminals, it
that. But if, again, is also advised by this honorable committee, we can still be able to move in that direction. Thank you, Chair.
Maybe, IG, I think we need further explanation. We have insurance, let us say 7-8 billion, and we are not going to pay all of it at once. We pay it in tranches, maybe in quarterly. Why can't we pay one of So why can't we think out of the box to actually say, let us have the hospital and try to sort out other things? And that is exactly what honorable colleagues are asking. This is a completed project. Or maybe there are things which we don't know. You people must tell us that you don't want a hospital.
Thank you very much for that kind of advice. Let me start by saying that we need the hospital like yesterday. And when I started here, I did indicate that the hospital is very, very important for us. Why? Because our officers are on the front line. And the kind of injuries they get, they are critical injuries. But injuries that can actually be attended in a specialized hospital like Badi. So my suggestion is that this hospital, if we can be able to pay in the pending debt today, tomorrow we operationalize it, because it means a lot actually to the officers. It is actually a big reassurance to the officers, even when they are out there. So it's something that is very, very important, and actually what you have said is something that can also be put into consideration. I don't know,
comment on that. I know it's out of desperation.
Chair,
Every member appreciates.
Chair, can I make a comment on that before further intervention from that other side?
Yeah, you will. It's out of desperation. I'm sure that members are saying this because we should all recall that the same members here last year, before the issue of the falls of the finance bill, they did allocate about 700 million to have that hospital story rested once and for all. We all remember what happened. The agencies, the finance bill was suspended. And it's out of desperation. So, Banis, maybe we'll have Aduma say something. But because we know the insurance, I'm sure that's what Vice is alluding to. Insurance is a total about 12 billion, maybe need to be corrected. Not necessarily paid up front. What would be the problem in getting the 800, clear this one, then we keep lobbying and pushing the National Treasury and all of us for the other remaining balance of the insurance, but we have sorted the hospital. Aduma, what do you want to add?
Chair, my concern, let me say this standing because one, I want to give the IG and the DCI a standing ovation because of the very fast and commend them with the very quick action they made when we lost our friend, was our great friend. And so I want to thank them for that because that would have raised many issues and maybe where we come from, further lives would have been lost. But Chair, I'm concerned about this issue of the Bagati Hospital, where we are talking about over 900 million, which is being treated as a pending bill. Because my memory still serves me right, Chair, as the longest serving member of this committee, because this is where I've served since I joined this parliament. I recall the former president, who is still alive, making executive orders for the military to take up that issue of the hospital and to do it. Chair, we also have the procurement laws. We have the Procurement and Disposal Act, which regulates how public entities procure and do things. I wanted to find out from the IG if indeed is privy to the procurement proceedings that has led to these pending bills. And if he's not, I would want to get those facts, how the contract was made with the contractors, because I recall we visited the hospital. And there are issues which were also raised by my colleague, Honorable Kaluma, in this regard. If public procurement was followed, who did the contract, how that work was procured, which has led to this pending bill, because we may be getting into something which would be an illegality. So, Chair, I want that one to be taken, and we'll take it. That is a matter which can end up in court. Chair, on the other bit, the other issue which has attracted my attention, I came to the tail end of it because I'm concerned about finer bits, was the in summary, we were told by the accounting officer that they have a deficit of about 11 billion. So that is something which should not be taken lightly. That is heavy because the mandate and the very basic duty of every government is first of all to ensure the protection of citizens and property. So I think we must really give the police what they require so that at least they can operate. So we know the role which has been played by the Border Patrol Unit, even the SOG, and I think those departments, much as we think of funding the DCI, those departments also need to be fully covered. Thank you, Chair.
Maybe IG, don't lose the track of Badi Hospital. That is where we are. First, this hospital is level 4. This is the premier hospital for the National Police Service. And immediately you say it is level 4, it means it is a county hospital or a sub-county hospital. Basically, it is downgraded. So for us, where we sit as a committee, this hospital must be a level 6 hospital, and it must be a top referral hospital for the National Police Service. The second issue, PASS must not, going forward, paying workers in that hospital when it doesn't exist. Actually, the Auditor General should pick up that point. And that is why, to be on the safe side, I think we are not in the BPS, we are in the budget. We must begin to look for money to open the hospital.
But I think so that we wrap up. There was a proposal, and we wanted just to get your opinion out of desperation. Will you support the idea? I think that was the fight said, of getting something little from the insurance, settle the hospital bill, then we move on lobby now the Treasury and other players. I know Banis is between a hard ground and a rock, but what is your thinking?
Thank you, Chair and honorable members.
I don't know whether I need to have said this. I think we have never seen any audit issue on the facility, and we should not preempt one. And if anybody has an issue, it's an open society.
Chair, you should answer the questions. They should answer because we are talking about public procurement issues. So I want to see if they have the documents.
Aduma.
Yes, Chair.
Do you have an auditor general?
It's not about audit, Chair. It is about the Public Procurement Act, and Chair, I trust that you are privy to the provisions of the Public Procurement Act of 2015.
What I'm asking,
yes.
This hospital has been there for 5 years or so.
The President gave executive orders for the military because he thought they were able to undertake some of those works. So how the military procured, I trust it is not the police who procured the works. So why are they asking for that money and not the military? Those are legal issues.
What is the issue? You seems like...
So let them answer. I just want to know if they have the contract, how this money was accrued, the pending bill, because my take is let this money go to other essential services unless you have the contract and we are privy and we want to know how that man was contracted and whether he was contracted by the police or the Department of Military, which we don't oversight.
What I'm asking, Aduma, in very kind words, and I don't want anybody to... Look, I don't know what you have eaten today. What I'm asking, do we have any auditor's query issue on the facility? If an answer is simple yes or no, I'm sure I'm not aware of any. So why do we have to preempt what is not there? And if you have an issue as yourself, as a leader, I think there is always a way to go around it. So as it is for now, as a committee, we are handling an issue of a facility that has taken up government and public funds to a tune of close to 1.1 billion. It is becoming a white elephant. It's not serving anyone. And it may amount to waste of public resources. And we are desperately looking for a solution so that our men and ladies in uniform can able to have a place to be attended to, so that the purpose and the dream and the intention can able to be achieved. And the question was that, I know you didn't have money. I'd already just said that this committee did allocate some money in their own wisdom in the previous year. But we all know what happened. So the question here is, do you support an idea, a proposal, to cut something from insurance, settle this one, then we keep lobbying, so that you respond to the rest of the question? Please, and our time is really running.
Chair, can I just have a short intervention? One chair, when we visited the hospital on the 26th of last month, we were able to actually find there were staff employed there, as the vice chair indicated. In fact, the vice chair addressed those staff, and they are being paid. I think we have no option but to operationalize. And the chair has supported the point that we remove 1 billion out of 5 billion for the insurance. We remove 1 billion, clear the debt, operationalize the hospital. And secondly, Chair, the issue Honorable Duma is raising is also key for us as a committee to be clear on the documentations so that if in case of anything, we are able to explain. But we have to operationalize this hospital, otherwise we lose more money. We have employees there, it is equipped, so really the police need the services of this hospital. And I think the issue that was raised, Chair, I remember you raised with the officers from Ministry of Health who are there, that the hospital should now be upgraded to level 5. So let's operationalize as level 5.
Pass, and kindly members, I beg you guys, let's finish the first round, then we do the last. Yeah. I know the Magadi thing is, IG, what is your response? Kindly.
Let me call upon the accounting officer to...
It's a very interesting conversation, Chair and honorable members. Desperate time calls for desperate measures. The first step would be, I wish we can get money elsewhere, but in the event that we cannot, my only fear is the risk of breach of contract. It's an existing contract from a risk perspective. So that is my only problem. Number two, this insurance is also, we've not paid it as well, so we have huge pending bills. So the other risk is it would interfere with service delivery at hand. So we also have to just juggle. Having a hospital for me also, it's a good quick win-win. So we will
consult our experts
and
see within our wisdom what is right to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we can get money elsewhere, better for all of us.
Correct.
Yeah. I respond to the rest of questions, IG, from
Okay,
respond to.
Thank you very much.
It was the issue of have you gazetted the new sub-counties, are they going to be recruitment centers for the upcoming police recruitment? That is a straightforward question, yes or no. And if no, what is the need then NPR from Sigay? Yes.
So the answer to that is yes. They will be included in the recruitment, in the upcoming recruitment drive. They will be there. And then
beyond that,
yes,
purely on the issue of recruitment upcoming, together with the Police Service Commission, we can able exclusively, extensively address and discuss that issue, so that it's not just a yes, because any recruitment facility must be gazetted. So we'll look into those one in detail. Yeah.
Actually, we are already addressing that issue. There's a team that is already working on that. So even when we meet here next week on Thursday, this is something that will also be very, very clear. And then number two, on the issues of NPRs. True, I agree with you 100%, Mheshimiwa, that the NPRs, we must ensure that there is command and control in these officers. They do a great job to our country because they assist the police in the areas where we are few on the ground. They come in and support us. So what we are doing right now, we have got a draft policy that is almost ready, actually, to manage the NPRs in terms of the structure and the command and control. Number two, as it is now, all of them, all the NPRs, they are under the officers commanding the various stations we have throughout the areas that we have the NPRs. That's what we have as at now. But remember, there is the new policy that is coming up, and it is going to spell out very, very clearly, especially on matters command and control of these people. Then now going to the question that was asked by Honorable Ambassador Sigay, the issue of the pending bill, whereby some units have paid more than others. I think that one, once again, I call upon the Administrative Secretary to respond to that one.
Thank you very much, Chair and Honorable Members. In terms of pending bill, it's true that they should form first charge. But if you observe in our records, majority of the pending bills are from Kenya Police, and mostly it's because of utilities. The utility is water and electricity, and that is one area that we need support to pay for water and electricity. I mentioned it earlier. The second aspect is DCI, and it was highlighted. And then the issue of last one is headquarter. We have a pending bill between ourselves and SHA, formerly NHIF, of about 1.6 trillion, and we have 1.6 billion, sorry. And we formed a committee, a multi-agency committee between SHA, Ministry of Health, NPS, National Prison, Kenya Prison Services, and the insurance sector to try and see what is payable. It was a contract that was executed that time, so we are just trying to verify and see what is payable. So it's a conversation, and that needs to be at an advanced level. Yeah, so basically that is it in terms of pending bills. As National Police, we prioritize, but we're having challenges in terms of funding and exchequer. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair, Honorable Members. Now to the question that was raised by Mheshimiwa Kaunya. First of all, we appreciate the works that the DCI have actually been doing, and the forensic laboratory becomes a key player actually in assisting us in terms of investigations. That's the reason why we urge this committee to continue supporting us so that we push the capability of that forensic laboratory to the levels that is required. Currently, we are at around 50%, and we need to push it to the remaining levels. Remember, the other day we had the AfriPol was here. They want to join us because they would also want to make it a center of excellence in terms of supporting even the regional bodies in terms of investigations. We have the IAPCO. They also here, they would like it to become a regional center in terms of assisting other member countries within the East African region in terms of investigation. So it is something that is actually good. And bearing in mind that crime is transnational, you know, it transcends boundaries, it doesn't know boundaries, does not respect boundaries. I think this is something that is good, and that's the reason why we really salute you, Honorable Kaunya, and the members for that. Let us support that forensic laboratory. It is good for our people, it's good for our country, it's good in terms of assisting the National Police Service in coming up with key investigations. About the stalled building, it is true, those buildings have been there for quite some time, stalled. Yes, generally. And that's the reason why we have allocated some money to, you know, to complete some of them. For example, there is one at the Ebakase campus, formerly the APTC, and other areas, as we have seen when we were going through the budget areas. So we need also to sort out these buildings so that once again they can still become of use to the police officers. So about the Badi hostel, as I have said, we would have liked it to have become, to have been put into use like yesterday. It's a very, very important hostel, and we'd like actually we have already started the process of pushing it to level 6. So the process is already on, Honorable Chair and the members. And once this issue of the pending bill is sorted out, we will start that hostel. And we need the officers out there, they're asking the questions, what is it that we are waiting, that we cannot start?
Just to help you on that particular topic for the purposes of the media and record, because I told you, if there were any audit issue as a committee, definitely we would not have been pursuing and pushing for settling issues that are audited. The last auditor's report on the same, we'll just pull it down, and I won't read just 3-4 lines. The auditor report on the Badi Hospital.
Can I get a copy of that report? I'll need a copy of that report.
And of course, it's a public document.
Yes, we'll need a copy of it.
Non-operational, and I told you kindly, maintain your order. Non-operational National Police Service Hospital in Badi. Construction and equipping of the National Hospital, NPS Badi, was done under the supervision of the Ministry of Defense at a cost of 1.233. Of course, that is 1.3 billion. An amount of 400 million was paid, while the remaining balance of 833, I'm told that was for other whatever, was still outstanding at the time of the audit in November 2024. So the audit is very recent. And included as a pending bill. The construction and equipping of the facility was completed in the year 2020-2023 financial year. However, as at the time of audit in November, despite handing over of the hospital, having been done and commencement of recruitment of the hospital staff, the hospital was not in operation. In the circumstances, value for money, for funds spent on the Badi Hospital, we raised the case, we see what to do as a committee, and
is it okay? Pardon? Can I be last? Because it's not too related to budget, but it's, yes, okay, thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Mine is just one question, which is becoming more or less a pet subject as the issue of the security operations. From the report, we see that there is actually a deficit, a requirement of 14 billion, an allocation of about 6.4 billion. Deficit is 8 billion. Chair, if you remember, during the BPS 2025, the House did make a resolution that money will follow functions. That is, services will be given corresponding resources. I'm just wondering, Chair, whether the issue of the resource sharing between the different MDAs is being addressed, so that, because when we were discussing this earlier, 80% of security operations are with the police, and 20 probably will go to issues of administration. And when I look at this kind of deficit, I'm just wondering whether there is money for security operations put elsewhere, and actually this shortfall, what it means now to the National Police Service, that they will not be able to provide AIs to police stations and to pay even the NPRs we are talking about and all that. What is the implication of this kind of a deficit of 8 billion in terms of providing security within the country? Thank you, Chair.
But Kangara, just on that, I don't know whether you missed the session we had with the PS. We brought that one up. I think we brought whether the criteria of sharing operation funds, especially on multi-agency, with them. And the answer is there. So maybe I don't know whether the IG will have anything to comment on that, or we rely on what the PS said.
We are more or less dealing with the Treasury, not the PS, because the PS and
okay, that is a question for us now and then.
Yes, to be able, but the implication on their end, okay. This kind of a shortfall of 8 billion.
Okay. Vice.
Thank you very much, Chairman. I believe my first issue is concern. When you get your budget ceiling, I think the important thing is to put down priorities, to try to hug the bear when you don't have everything you had requested. Then it means that critical issues are going to be missed, like the forensic lab, the hospital, the insurance, food and ration, all that. So I think going forward as a committee, what we will be very keen is to look at what are the real priority issues, so that from the BPS starting, then we agree, so that we draw red lines to say where we should not cross, so that as we listen to your printed estimate, then we confirm that this is actually what we agreed from the BPS. Because some of the questions that are being raised, they form in the realm of BPS, really. Here we are going to talk about figures and direct issues, very subjective. So that is my first concern. The second issue is about pending bill. I think as a committee we must congratulate you that if you are able to pay almost 70% of pending bill, you are putting more Kenyans back to business. The more money you are going to hold from Kenyans, the more people will be out of business, the more unemployment. So it has that ripple effect. And that is why, as much as possible, we must pay Kenyans who provide good service to the government. My first question is largely directed to the DCI. This is on anti-narcotics. We don't have the full purview of your allocation to anti-narcotics, but the region I come from, Marsabit, a major problem today is not banditry and all those funny things that used to give us headache. It is drugs, bang, and other hard drugs that are raising their head of recent. And I really wanted to hear from you that what is the anti-narcotics doing? Because of late we don't hear about them. I think as soon as the issue of Akashas and all those characters disappeared, then anti-narcotics, their position has kind of just gone down. So we really want to hear from you in terms of allocation, tasks, or what is going on. The second issue, IG, is on training. During BPS, we really talked about training. That if the force is not training, then they are not able to sharpen their skill to carry out policing work wherever they may be. And here, if you look at allocation, both in APS, NPS, the ceiling for training, that is for continuous training of serving officers, appears to be quite limited. And we need to get some answers, or we want to hear your thinking, that how do you continuously improve the skills of men and women who are serving under your command. Finally, it is the issue of the crimes that we are experiencing today. Yes, the fellows who may be involved in killing of Honorable Were were identified very quickly. That is what we call the smart policing. But around the country, even when you watch the news, there is rising of gangs, some mindless killings. So as we go towards elections 2027, we may see a pitched crime that individuals are going to be set up against each other. Politicians are going to be set up against each other. And we also hear that there are politicians who are holding gangs, or they have their own small militias in their enclaves. So what is it that you are doing going forward? Because maybe you might not have told us clearly in this budget, but tell us what you are doing. Because you will only have one budget before the next election, and that money will not be available to you. Because 26, 27, you will get that money in September of 2027. So this might be your only budget to the election 2027. Thank you, Chairman.
Maybe we, Rosa?
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I'll take this opportunity to introduce myself. I'm Rosa Kinyibuyu, Member of Parliament, Kisumu West Constituency. And Chair, I'd like to join the other members in thanking the police for their swift action regarding the unfortunate incident of Mheshimiwa Charles Ongondowere. But I'd also like to say that what we've seen is apprehension of executioners, and we are looking forward to knowing who the planners and the mastermind were, and we know that the DCI is up to the task. The reason why I say that what I wanted to ask was slightly out of what we are doing today is, Chairman, the last time we had a meeting, I put up a case for a boy who's been missing from my constituency, but he was residing at Riverside Estate in Ruaraka, and he was reported missing on the 11th of January, 2025. To date, and I've been in constant communication with the DCI and IG regarding this case, but nothing has come up out of this case. So what I want to know is, we can be asking for all this money. What does the DCI need from this committee to help him in his job, so that no Kenyan citizen can be missing for more than 4 months without a trace and without any slight information of where or what could have happened to that child? Unfortunately, Eddie Ojuka is the firstborn son of a chief in my area, a female chief. And that is a high-ranking person in the rural area. So if her son can be missing for 4 months without any trace and without any information, what hope does it give to any ordinary Kenyan? So, Honorable Chair, I just want the DCI to let me know what's on this case, and to also find out what it is that his department might need, so that when such cases come up, there is swift action and Kenyans or affected citizens are able to feel comforted that even if their child is dead, they have the information that the child is dead and they can move on from there. Thank you, Chair.
So thank you, IG. So that I want to help so that we finish on time, because it's obvious that that issue is of much public interest, and even the media were actually just asking when we were coming in so that they can able to get the opportunity to get updated. So that I don't, there is one question I just want to add on the list of orders that have already been provided too, because I don't want to belabor on what the rest of members have asked. There is always some reported or alleged delay in the making payment to the police officers with regards to the group life benefits, including unpaid injury group, personal accident claim, unpaid claims under WIBA. So maybe the accounting officer can also add something on that. So respond to the question relating to the budget, then you wrap up with the latest update report, either you or your DCI, on the issue of Were, Honorable Were the late, and of course the last question also about the missing person asked by Honorable Buirosa. Then we wind up.
Thank you very much. Chair and honorable members of this committee, once again, the questions are very varied and they are important. The question that was asked by Mheshimiwa Buru Kahagara, again, the deficit in terms of security operation, as I did indicate from the word go, we get inadequate funding when it comes to matters of operations. And yet, when you look around the country, the number of operations that we have are quite substantial. So that's the reason why we are asking this honorable committee to assist us with whatever funds you can be able to get, because I also indicated that we get around 70% actually is the one that goes to the operations. And out of that 70%, we also pay pending bills, and I'm happy that one of the honorable members have actually appreciated that. We get it out of those balances. So any funding that can come to aid the police is really, really very welcome. The issues of anti-narcotics. It is true, yesterday I was together with my CS in Marsabit. And we were taken through, we had an operation, and that operation is still continuing even now. Operation Odoa Jagiri, covering the areas of Isiolo and Marsabit, actually. And several arms and ammunition have actually been netted, recovered. A lot of drugs, bank, have actually been recovered, and many criminals have actually been arrested. To the tune of around 200. Those are the people who have actually been arrested. Meaning that our teams, our anti-narcotic team that is headed by, domiciled at DCI, is working very well. I'm also in the process of actually increasing and ensuring that its capacity. Important. Training is a renewal. Training is the best morale that you can ever give to an officer. An officer well trained is an officer who will serve this country from a point of knowledge. So it goes without training. I mean, without saying that training is critically important. However, unfortunately, the funds directed towards training, again, they are also affected because it comes from the portion that goes to further the operations. From the